Ciao, Luca. I think it's being really great to be here. Design ID. What is your feeling about this year's Design Week according to you?
Well, it's a very interesting as usual because you come here, it's a learning opportunity for me. It's an opportunity to understand how the aesthetics, the tastes, also the way to create these events change over the years. I always have in my eyes the comparison with the Design Week in Milan, where we are also present every year. So it's a great opportunity.
This year, the interesting concept now is urban landscape, and you're talking about how the Nexion could be contribute to the sustainable urbanization. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, innovation is in the DNA of Nexion. Nexion started from 10 years ago. Actually, this year is the 10th anniversary. From a very innovative idea, no other Italian company had this idea at the time of coming here and participate in urbanization, actually. India is one of the fastest growing urbanizing countries in the world. And tens of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people actually, are moving from small villages in the countryside into large urban settings. And this is a fascinating process. It depends a lot about how designers, architects, the authorities, the local city authorities, and also the companies who actually contribute to this actually do their job. Next idea is that we try to contribute an idea of sustainable living. Sustainability means many things. It is environmentally sustainable. Actually, Italy is a producer of marble. And if you go to Tuscany, in particular in the Carrara area where the Statuario marble comes from, you see the disaster, the devastation of the landscape. Entire hills have been cut away. People is actually dying due to problems with their lungs because of all the cuttings of this marble actually creates a terrible pollution. So this is something that cannot be done, should not be done. And so using sintered stone that basically are made of the same raw materials because we use sand, we use kaolin, so highly ecological things, sustainable things, but they are easily available everywhere. Basically, we can create, let's say, stone-looking products, marble-inspired products that can be used on industrial scale to urbanize. So this is the first level of sustainability. The second level of sustainability is, let's say, social sustainability. There are very interesting studies done by the London School of Economics and by the World Economic Forum that shows that if people live in homes that are beautiful, in neighborhoods that are beautiful, in cities that are beautiful, basically the whole fabric of society evolves more, people stays better, and the whole society is more sustainable and can grow in a more sustainable way. So I would say that beauty and technology comes together, and this is the core of Italian industrial design, as functionality and beauty together to achieve something that is useful for people. That is the idea behind Nexion.
Oh, really interesting. And I think somewhere probably it was also trying to convey that Nexion in a way, is trying to contribute to the well-being of the people.
Oh yes, that is definitely true. One of the first ideas I personally had when in 2014 the idea of Nexion came into shaping, basically was to contribute to the well-being of people. Now, you can contribute to the well-being of people in many ways. One way is actually in the performance of the products. If products are highly durable, if anti-slippery is there, so you don't risk to sleep in your bathroom, if stain resistance and cleanability are there. So all these things contribute. But what I want to put as an accent is the aesthetical element. I spent my childhood, for instance, when I was at the primary school, I had a chance to go through in front of Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper almost every week because it was in the backyard of my school. And so I lived immersed in an aesthetic beauty that is typical the beauty that comes from the Renaissance in Italy. Okay, we tried with Nexion to bring our sense of beauty here. So in the materials that are artificial, such as our collection Ombre or Riga, we try to bring into the human end, the imperfection, the creativity of humans. So these things are first built by craftsmen, and then we manufacture them using sintered technology. When we are inspired by nature, such as a natural marble, we try to recreate something that is not a copy of the marble, but is a reinterpretation of the beauty of the marble, giving designers something that they don't have from natural marble. For instance, in a full polished version, a mirror-like reflection of light and objects that gives a completely different openness and let's say breadth to the space. So beauty is absolutely fundamental. And the belief that we have in Nexion is that if we create products, services, and materials that architects can use with their creativity to create beautiful spaces for people at home, at office, in a shopping mall, everywhere, basically the whole well-being of the person psychologically improves and the whole society has a benefit.
So really very interesting insight from you. Maybe if you can share what are the upcoming plans for Nexion?
Well, Nexion is a story of continuous innovation. Over the last 2 years, we added several new designs in the already existing product lines, such as stone, marble, concrete. But we also added completely new ideas about surface materials. In particular, I would say that the collection that have a texture, such as ombre and riga, that we see displayed here in several of these, let's say, installations, are very interesting because we add a third dimension to what surfaces are. These are specifically for wall products that create very beautiful, let's say, and interesting effects. Also changing depending on the light, depending, for instance, if you have a window and these kind of things. For the next future, we are installing this year some new generation technologies. We'll have larger slabs going to in length of 283 meters that are better for the wall because you don't have to need any adjustment. You can go from floor to ceiling in a single slab. But we also use new digital technologies to create even more interesting effects. There will be a lot of product innovation starting this May and then this September that will mark our 10th anniversary with something that will contribute to completely new designs, not available in India yet, that only a handful of very high-end Italian companies currently make. And I think we will make this in our next way that probably will be even better. In autumn, we will start selling in Europe because there is a lot of demand from European clients for our latest designs. And I think this is a great achievement for an Indian company because having an Indian company that goes into Europe, we already are in Australia, we already are in the US, but Europe is a different benchmark from this perspective. Not for the price, but for the quality and the aesthetics is something really unique. And so that will be very, very exciting year ahead.
Okay, thank you very much for your time and insightful conversations.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you.